This is the best possible start for mages in Ashes of Creation for solo players. I'm going to get you to level 8 with best in slot weapons. These are the crafted pre-level 10 weapons. You're going to become so overpowered to be able to solo everything with ease and be prepared to smash level 10 content. This guide is simple, easy, effortless, no luck required, all completely solo, no guild, no friends, and no grouping required. Let's get into it. For your starting location, make sure that you choose the Divine Gateway of the Dunzenkel. If you do not pick this one right here, you will not be able to follow this guide. The reason we are going here, even though it says that the anvils are still a work in progress, is because this area is way more streamlined, it's way more efficient, cleaner, narrower, there's more mobs to grind, there's more resources to gather, there's less players, there's less clutter, there's less useless quests. This entire zone is much more fleshed out and just faster and more efficient, and the mount you get is rarer than everyone else is going to be riding horses. You're going to be riding a mountain goat, a ram, or some kind of beast with horns. Now, as soon as you spawn in, there is one thing that we need to do. If you push the I button, your inventory is empty, and we need to get, instead, for our equipment, if you push the C button to open your equipment pane, we need to get rid of this wand and this dull focus, and instead get a spell tome, because it is just much better for damage. It's much better for cleaving mobs, because spell tomes do bounce. And the crafting path that we're going to do by the time we are level 8 will have us using a very powerful spell tome, so leveling it now at the start is more beneficial to us. I know at level 25, the best in slot for mage is a two-handed mace and a longbow. But starting out, you will not be able to easily get magic damage versions of those weapons, and thus we cannot craft them early on, so they are useless to us until we are at end game. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is from the spawn, if you look to your right, there is this big stone pillar. You're going to walk over to it, and behind the pillar, there's like a little kid's table. There's like a little kid table over here, and it's got an adventurer's axe on it, and stuff like that. So behind that table is like a food table of sorts, and then over here there is another big table. And behind this table, there is the warped wand, there's an axe, and we are looking for the spell tome. Alright, this is the rusty shield, that's not what we need. So if you see the table that has the longbow, this should be the easiest thing to spot because it's kind of sitting off the table. To the right of this table, on this second big table, there is the musty spell book. That's what you're looking for. You're going to push F to pick that up, and then you're just going to right click and it will swap out your wand and dull focus. And now your ranged weapon is the musty spell book. So once you've grabbed those two items, there's also another one right here on this small table. It does have a different graphic. It's the same exact weapon. You don't need two of them. It doesn't matter which one you grab. If one's not there, grab the other one. So now it's time to start the proper path, and that is to hammer rest. Alright, so when we are going south, here's our mini-map on the top right of the screen. We are headed south. There are two NPCs with red diamond icons in front of us, Gatewatcher Stonebeard and Gatewatcher Nahotu. We're going to talk to Gatewatcher Stonebeard, and we're going to click Might and Industry, and click yes, and then we're going to, there we go, we got the quest. So there are two different quest pathways in the starter zone. This one leads to Hammer Rest, which is a more fleshed out newbie novice starter town, and this other one leads to some fishing village. It sucks. It's not really good. So we're right here up in the northern mountains. Our questing is going to take us to Hammer Rest, and then to Hammer Rest Trade Outpost, and we'll be grinding down here in the mines area. There's a mine shaft down here. Or, I'm sorry, it's up here, the Vinebreaker mines. That's kind of our path, is this big old area right here, and a little bit up here. Whereas if we chose the other NPC in the other path, we would end up over here at the Bonfire Town, and do stuff over here. And this area sucks. There is barely anything to gather. It's not very fleshed out. It's not very efficient. So our questing, when we open the big map, is going to have us go this way, which is to the east, which is to our left. And what we're going to do is we have a quest to clear the path of Clayborn. These are like statue-like enemies. Alright, so these statue-like enemies, they look like placeholder enemies because they're statues. When they die, they go stiff and tumble over because they're statues, not because that's how the game is programmed, okay? Real enemies die, have real death animations. These are statues. Don't think, oh, this game looks ugly and sucks because they're statues. I just want to point that out, okay? So there's a few things we're going to be doing as we kill these. So, these are the Destiny quests we need to do so we can get some early gear upgrades. If you push the L button on your keyboard, it'll open this menu here called Destinies. Again, I can just push L and open and close this. We have First Steps and Novice Combat. By doing these Novice Combat quests, like perform weapon combo attacks with melee, with ranged weapons, guard, and so on, we will unlock some Adventurer chests here and get some XP rewards, so it's very, very handy to do. So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to target a Claiborne, and you can look at the list right here. It says attack 10 times with melee. So I'm going to switch to my melee attack now, and I'm just going to auto-attack it until it says Destinies on the board. Don't worry, these things aren't going to kill you. Even though we are a mage and we are squishy and we take more damage and have less HP than other classes, there it is. Destiny objective completed. Alright, I'm going to loot this guy. I'm going to scoot back over here. So you'll see now that under Novice Combat, we have this thing that activated. Perform weapon combo with melee 10 times. We can hit claim and get a little XP boost. So, again, we're going to continue to do all of these now. Attack 10 times with the ranged. Sprint once. You don't have to be in combat for this, so you can just sprint. There we go, I'm sprinting, and Destiny objective completed. Alright, and you can mix and match these. So, like, I'm going to start doing ranged attacks. I'm in combat, so I'm going to throw out a dodge. I'm going to hit my block button 3 times. I don't have to actually block the attacks. I just have to push the block button. There we go. There's my second dodge. I'm still doing ranged attacks on this guy. I still need one more dodge. I don't have the stamina quite yet. And yeah, I'm just going to let him hit me. And okay, so he's dead. Alright, and let's see here now. Did I get the range? So I got the ranged attack one. I've got dodge. I did do the dodge, the sprint, and the guard. So at this point, yeah, I need to eat a ration, even though my HP is mostly full. These red clay chunks the enemy drops is what you would eat. There we go, Destiny objective completed. Very, very cool. So what I'm going to do now is, before claiming any of these, I'm just going to kill 3 more Claiborne, and this time you could use your actual spells if you want, you know. And remember, you can backpedal, and you can strafe, and you can move away from the enemy. As, you know, you're fighting. That way you're not getting hit. Because as a mage, it's very important not to get hit by the enemy. Also, as a mage, it's very important that you learn how dodge rolling actually works in this game. It's not like Dark Souls. It's not like Elden Ring. The way dodging works is daring your dodge. You get a little buff here in the corner that it's hard to see. But essentially, daring your dodge roll, your evasion is increased to 100%. It is only increased to 100% for the first hit that attempts to hit you. So if you're fighting 2 enemies and you dodge roll and they both swing on you, then yeah, it's one will be dodged, the other one you will have to, you know, tank. But as you level up, you can unlock stamina abilities that will instead let you tank all of the attacks during a dodge. But that's much later in the game. Now, when you hit level 2, I do recommend... Mage is a little squishy, a little glass cannon. So, what I want you to practice on one single enemy Claiborne is cast your Arcane Volley spell and start auto-attacking with your spell book. When the enemy gets close to swing on you, dodge roll to make him miss the first attack. Continue attacking with your spell tome, or you can switch to melee, it doesn't matter. And then when he swings again, dodge roll that, and try to fully kill him without taking any damage. And by the time, you know, you should have completed the quest. Once you've learned how to do that, you should have completed all of these Destiny quests. And as we don't have to claim them just yet, what you're going to do now is you're going to move down here towards this narrow pathway to the next quest giver. And by the way, you can't jump off of here. There's an invisible wall, so don't be afraid, okay? And this is the only part of the game where I've seen invisible walls. The rest of the game, if you see it, you can explore it. That may not hold true for everything, but so far, from everything that I've explored and played, that is the case. Just not this starter zone. They don't want new players getting trapped in, you know, weird geometry, I suppose. When you talk to this NPC here, and you complete the quest and get the follow-up, you will receive this amulet, so go ahead and equip that. And by equipping the amulet, that completes another one of the destinies under Novice Combat called Equip Gear, Equip a Necklace. Because we are 6 out of 8 completed, we can now claim this lost weapons chest. We'll hit claim on here. We're going to click each of these and claim the XP reward. There we go. Just claim all the rewards. And that's going to give us some extra XP. Go to first steps, claim this little reward too. And we're going to open a few things. So we have an adventurer's health kit. As a mage, I recommend that you get the health potion, and you really don't run out of mana too often unless you are just chain pulling like crazy, and by the time you start doing that, you can buy these anyway. So just get the health potion. This is called Novice Health Salve. You can use this in combat. Next up, for Lost Weapon Chest, you have a choice of the Spellbook or the Scepter, and the Spellbook is going to give you a bigger damage boost than the Scepter. So choose the Lost Spellbook and then change that out. And your old musty spellbook, you can just throw it away. There you go. Alright, cool. So your old wand, your warped wand, you can throw that away, and your old dull focus too. Just get rid of them. Alright, so let's talk abilities now on the mage and how the mage works. So you start with Elemental Empowerment, which means the last spell you cast will give you certain effects. For instance, if you cast a fire spell, your auto attacks, your finisher, as in you auto attack like 3-4 times, will apply burning, and it resets the cooldown of fireball or firebolt. Same for ice and lightning, they all have different little effects, and this is pretty much automatic. Now, you have an ability here where you can cast to remove the elemental empowerment if you want to. There's no real reason to do this early game. I usually just keep this, like, you know, in a corner. There's almost no reason to ever use this unless you're doing very specific spell rotations and you don't want your auto attack to do an elemental thing. Again, it's not something you really need to do early on. But if you want to know the best spell to pick early on, it is Fireball. This is going to deal the most damage, and it's pretty damn mana efficient. It has a high cast time, but when you open with this, you know, at level 2, this is combined with your Arcane Volley, and then you just auto attack down the mob. That's the rotation right now, and you're going to kill enemies pretty quickly. Anyway, continue down the pathway to the next quest giver, and this one will teach us how respawns work and give us a mount. Also, there's no real reason to grind on these clay guys, these level 1 Clayborns, these level 2. There are better enemies to kill up ahead with better loot tables, so I wouldn't waste time killing these, unless you want to. Alright, we're going to run up to Commander Iron Hand and turn in the quest, getting the follow-up. There we go. And that gives us a mount, which we'll use in just a bit. We're going to then backtrack to this NPC, talk to them. They're going to explain, you know, death, kind of, sort of. This is a respawn point. We're going to then attune to this. There we go. All right, and then run back to this NPC. And finish up the quest, getting the follow-up, of course. There we go, blah, blah, blah. And let me explain mounts real quick. So in your inventory, we just got a mount. You're going to drag this to your hotbar, and you want to make sure that you put this on a hotkey that you're going to get comfortable with pushing in, like, if a shit hits the fan moment. You want to be able to summon this mount and get on it and bolt out of there. So let me explain. If you're about to die, you're going to summon your mount. You're going to, default is G to mount it, and then you're going to use the dash ability to run away from combat. So this is how you survive mobs if you pull too much, or if you're like about to die from maybe a player and then you put them to sleep or knock them backwards and you want to try to do a daring quick escape. Assuming your mount is faster than theirs, otherwise they'll just catch up and kill you. Which happens, that's just how it is. Get a better mount, right? But early on you don't have to worry about that stuff. But there's a few other mechanics with your mount as well. If you just dismount on your mount, it stays in the world. Your mount has a health bar, it is its own entity. Enemies can attack and will kill your mount. Players can also attack and kill your mount. When your mount dies, wow, you can jump over the whole thing. That's a big vertical leap. Anyway, your mount, when it dies, has a 10-minute cooldown until you can resummon it. Now, you can circumvent this by having more than one mount, but all we get is the freebie mount here at the start, okay? You'll have to, you know, breed your own mounts if you want to get more. And this video won't really teach that, I'm sorry. I'll make a video in the future, though. Anyway, mounts can also do a few interesting things. You can kind of do like a Super Mario hop-off where you jump and then you jump off your mount so you can get a little bit more height, like so. Because normally you wouldn't be able to jump up there without climbing up twice. But with your mount, this lets you get to higher places, which you can use to drop aggro from mobs. And it's also used in exploration. Also, if you are falling to your death, or I'm sorry, if you jump off a high cliff, The mount will take fall damage and die, but you will not. I have been told, and I have not confirmed this, so trust but verify. If you were to unsummon your mount right before hitting the ground, the mount takes no damage, and neither do you. I have yet to test this, but as a mage, you will eventually get the ability called Blink, and so if you jump off a cliff and blink before you hit the ground, you'll be fine. That's normal mage stuff. You learn that in World of Warcraft, assuming you played that game. But I also want to talk about death. When you die in this game, you incur an experience debt. So down here in the middle of your screen is your experience bar. I'm level 2, I have 1,764 XP, 47% along the way. When you die, at least early on when you die, you won't get much debt. Like, it'll be worth about 2 mobs worth of experience points. It'll be a red mark on your experience bar, and you don't lose the experience that you've gained. However, the experience debt is a red bar, which has to be cleared before you can earn XP anymore. So if you have an XP debt of 300, you have to go earn 300 XP to make that debt go away by killing mobs, doing a quest, whatever. And when that debt is gone, then you can earn experience as normal. Also, when you die, you will have a 25% trash rate on items in your materials inventory. Not your regular inventory, and you do receive durability loss for your equipment, which is easily repaired, not a big deal there. And broken equipment is not gone, it just needs repairs. So don't worry, you'll permanently lose stuff, okay? But you will have a 25% trash rate on your items in your materials bag. So if I had 10 of these dull glint, I would lose 25% as a trash. Then I would lose another 25% on my corpse. Now, when you die, you leave a pile of ashes, and you can run back to your corpse and loot the ashes, get those items that are lost back. But other players can also loot the pile of ashes, which flags them as a criminal for 3 minutes. That means guards will attack them, and they will be flagged. They will have PvP turned on, essentially. So do note that dying is pretty bad, especially if you have an inventory full of stuff. You're going to lose a lot. So try not to die in this game. Be careful. Make sure that if you feel like you can't win the fight, mount up and run the hell away. So the next quest has us defeat these Stonewoke Automata, and you'll notice here that I just got my tag stolen. This is going to happen a lot as a mage. It's very unfortunate, but if I'm charging a big fat fireball on a mob and someone runs up and hits it before my spell is finished casting, it's their mob and I just help them kill it. And players will see you do this and take advantage of it, alright? Though, if you deal 50% of the total health, you still get part of the loot pool of that mob, which happened with this mob. I actually completed the quest because I dealt the majority of damage. So there we go. We completed the quest. And time to go to the next quest giver, which is right here. But along the way, you're going to find another NPC, which is Archaeologist Hatcher. And by the way, if you can't run through players, you can collide with them and then slowly push past them. Anyway, talk to this NPC. He's going to have you clean the statue here. Just walk up to the statue, push F. Sometimes it bugs out, like it bugged out now, and I don't have to wait for this to finish, because it just assumed I cleaned it for some reason. I don't know why. It's buggy. Don't let that discourage you from buying or playing the game, though. Anyway, make sure you turn in the quest at Archaeologist Hatcher, because if you don't, well, you'll never get the XP reward for it, alright? So there you go. And get used to traveling with your mount. Make sure you're summoning it, you're using the dash, you know, you're dismounting, you know, whenever you need to. And this NPC, now I want to talk about this quest, because this quest has you do a pack transport. It wants us to pick up this backpack off the ground. So I want to mention, up here in the top left, you have PvP protection. It looks like a dove icon. There are other buffs that share this icon, like there's an XP buff from towns. So always peek up here and make sure you have PvP protection on. Also, I don't know I have sprint on, but whenever you pick up a trade pack, whenever you pick up a heavy backpack like this, it turns off your PvP protection, meaning other players can attack and kill you, and because there's no guards here in the starter zone, this means that players can grief you and steal your loot. Not that you have much loot anyway right now. With a trade pack, you can try summoning a mount, but you won't go any faster, even with their dash. You're going to go the same speed as you're walking, so don't even bother trying. You can instead do combat dodge rolls, and that'll get you around a little bit faster. Now, the way to use a mount when you have a trade pack is to get a Beast of Burden mount, which we're not going to do in this video, but that is one way how you would transport these packs. The other way would be via boat. Anyway, make sure that you rush up to this NPC and turn in this quest, and that will get rid of the backpack. And now your PvP protection will not come back immediately. It takes a couple of minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes. I forget how long exactly. But, yeah, just be aware that players can attack you until that comes back. And you can attack other players if you want to play that route. Now, this quest has you collect 3 heart stones, not hearth stones. This is not World of Warcraft. Heart stones. For some reason, the mobs on the left, the Claymore Guardians on the left side of this room, are bugged and will not drop the quest item. But the ones on the right side will. And they respawn every 20 seconds, so they're pretty easy for us mages. Just hit them with a fireball, hit them with your arcane volley there, and then, you know, just do some auto attacks. And then whenever your fireball's off cooldown, recast your fireball, and rinse and repeat. Now, instead of having to play kiting around the room with these guys and, you know, dancing around, you can just face tank them. But as you do this, your HP is going to start to get a little bit low, and the quicker way to recover, if you push the X button, which is default to sit down, you'll get the buff called resting. This will give you health and mana per second. So at a low level, this heals you up pretty quickly. You don't have to sit here and eat your rations or anything, your red clay chunks. Don't worry about that. So right now, we are focused on getting 3 heart stones from the Claymore Guardians. So again, you're going to fireball into arcane volley, into your attack, your auto attack, which will reset the cooldown of your fireball, and then you just fireball again. As you do this, you're going to hit level 3, and the next spell that you're going to choose is Combust. This is an instant cast fire spell, and the way this works is whatever you have targeted, you're just going to deal fire damage to. So now, your rotation goes into fireball, into arcane volley, into combust, into auto attack, into fireball, into arcane volley, into combust. And the reason why you do this and not combust first is because if they are burning, which they will be burning from fireball, they become conflagrating. So burning is just fire damage over time. Conflagrating is it takes all the remaining burning damage and accelerates it, and it lasts 4 seconds, converting an additional 30% boosted damage. You have some quest rewards in your inventory, and it's very important that you choose the right ones. For Mage, you are a glass cannon, and you want as much magic damage stats as possible. Defense means nothing. Wearing full plate will, yeah, it makes it so the enemies deal less damage to you, but you will deal significantly less damage to them. You want to go full cloth or full light armor as a mage, at least early on. You can always swap it out later to whatever you prefer. But in this case, I'm going to open this Lost Arm Guard box. We have 3 choices. You see how it says Common Light Armor. This one says Common Medium and Common Heavy. So physical defense and magic defense, and then just pure magic defense. Now, the magic defense is not what we want. We want the 8 wisdom and magic accuracy on this. So again, for your starter quest rewards from here on out when you get these chests, for the remainder of the video, you're going to choose the reward for light armor. So there we go. Let's see, that is light armor, and this one is light armor there. And we're going to put all of these on. This adventurer's garb, we can trash it. There we go. And that's going to, again, increase our damage. Now, while we are here, we are now going to grind these mobs until we are level 4.5. So I'm currently level 3 and 27%. I want to be level 4 and 50%. So that's what we're going to do. Also, you will have gotten a stamina level and some weapon levels by now. I'm weapon level 3. So for stamina, you again, because it's an alpha, you can spec into anything you want. Right-click to unspec and put it into something else. I just put it into sprint, but you can put it into whatever you want. These choices ultimately do not matter. But for your weapon choices, again, you can always respec. Here's what you should pick. For your scepter, you're going to pick days, and this will slow the cast time of opponents' abilities. And then we're going to confirm that choice. And then as you level, you will also get these this says Deadly Finisher Trigger Chance. So we're going to put a point there, and there we go. So for your spell book, you are going to choose Burning or Volatile. I prefer Burning, it's just more damage overall, but Volatile is fine as well. It's just not as much. and then we will do Deadly Finisher there, and there we go. That is our weapon levels. And as you play, remember to open your destinies every once in a while and claim those rewards. Make sure to click on these and claim them as well, because they give a good chunk of XP, and that's going to speed up the leveling process so you're not grinding as much. But yeah, there we go. I'm already over halfway to 4. As you gain more weapon levels, you're going to continue getting the Deadly Finisher for both of your weapons. At level 4, you have 2 choices. You could go Bombardment, but I like Cone of Cold because it's more DPS. So the way this works is you're going to go ahead and learn Cone of Cold, and your rotation is now as follows. You're going to open with a Fireball on the enemy, into an Arcane Volley, into a Cone of Cold, and then you're going to use Combust, and then you're going to auto-attack until that refreshes your Fireball into another Fireball, and that's going to usually kill the target. There we go. And then you can continue the rotation. Even though your Fireball may be on cooldown, if you want, you don't have to wait for Fireball. You can if you want to, but it's ultimately up to you. You can auto-attack and get the cooldown back a little bit faster, but that's pretty much the rotation. Anyway, gonna grind to 4.5 now. There are some instances where your Cone of Cold's cooldown won't really line up with everything else, in which case what you want to do is you want to make sure that your auto-attack refreshes Fireball before you cast Cone of Cold, because if you cast Cone of Cold, you can see here my elemental empowerment is fire right now, but if I just Cone of Cold, now it's ice, and now my auto-attack will not refresh my Fireball until I cast another fire spell. So that's just how you want to make sure. You just want to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. It takes a few seconds of getting used to, but once you got it down, it's pretty simple. Also, if the enemy is about to die, and I don't know why this priest or this cleric is helping me kill stuff, but if the enemy is about to die, you can just auto-attack it down and not waste a Fireball, because that would just overkill it. And instead, save your Fireball cooldown for the next mob. So you can see here, I'm going to let my auto-attack refresh Fireball before I Cone of Cold, and then I'll just go ahead and finish it off with some autos, because this would be a waste of Fireball. So I can immediately start Fireballing this guy, and do my combo all over again. There we go. You can see right now, Cone of Cold is not available for this guy, because he's level 4. So there's my Fireball, and again, I'm just going to continue to spam my rotation. By the way, these mobs can drop good items sometimes, and if you happen to get a piece of gear that is not light armor, but it is better than what you have, for instance, I have the Adventurer Pants, which is what you start with. There's no stats on it. This Heavy Armor Legs has Mentality and Mana Regeneration, so that's obviously caster related. So I'm going to swap it out and then throw away my Adventurer's Pants. You also get random recipes as well that you can learn. And you will be able to fill out your helmet, cape, ring, earring, and your belt slot as well from these mobs. Sometimes as a mage you get bugged where you push your Fireball and it won't start casting. Just mash escape, jump around a bit, try to move around a bit so that when you hold right click you can turn your character. When you can turn your character like this, it will be unstuck, and then you can then cast your spells. I don't know why it bugs out like that. That's just how it is. It's just something you got to deal with as a mage, I suppose. Alright, so now I am level 4 and 50% of the way. You want to make sure that you're fully healed before you start running down the hallway to the next quest objective, because there is an elevator, and one of the rooms ahead is very tight with a lot of these guardians in it that will aggro and chase you, and if the elevators aren't working correctly or you catch them at the wrong time, you're going to get overwhelmed and killed. So, let me demonstrate that now. What we're going to do is we're going to ride through the hallway. So, riding through here, and I aggroed 1. Let's see. Aggroed 2. And this is the room. This is the painful room right here. Let's see how many we get. And, none. Look at that. Very clean. But yeah, so over here is the elevator, and normally you would have to wait at the entrance for the door to open, but sometimes you can talk to this guy and say that the elevator isn't working. He'll teleport you up top, which is really nice, leading you to the next quest objective here. So, whenever you talk to this guy and get the follow-up, he just wants us to click on the guys on the floor here with the red diamond, and then push F to apply a healing salve. Now, we're not using our health salve. We are using a quest item called Healing Salve, so there is nothing to worry about. You're not wasting your healing items on NPCs or anything. Just make sure that your character is doing the full animation. You can see the quest objective completion here on the right. Just got to do one more person. And then after that, we're going to run further ahead and then turn in the quest. And there is another elevator, but there's no enemies this time. Also, this hallway is kind of bugged a little bit, and it won't let you summon your mount. Yeah, cannot summon mount here. But just keep trying, and eventually you can get it to pop out. I just unsummoned mine, but yeah, you run forward. There's more elevators in this room. Just go up the elevator. This NPC also has a function. I'm not making that. Yeah, I'm not making that. Also has the if you talk to him, he will teleport you up top, but he teleports you behind a locked gate, so you still have to wait on the elevator anyway. And there we go. So yeah, this is Hammer Rest. This is the first novice town of the game. Now, unlike World of Warcraft or other games where there are these big cities, Ashes of Creation is not what's called a theme park MMO. It's a sandbox MMO. So let me explain, before we turn in the quest here, how that exactly works, how the world works, okay? So this little area is Hammer Rest. There's a whole bunch of crafting benches. These are all novice or tier 1 or level 1 benches. I'm not entirely sure what the community, you know, groupthink of the terminology is, but I'm going to call it tier 1 or novice, okay? This is as advanced as these crafting stations get. You're not meant to live here forever. This is not Ironforge, okay? This is not Orgrimmar. This is not Stormwind. We are just at a little newbie starter town. Down the road, there is a trade outpost, also with level 1 novice crafting benches. Again, tier 1 stuff. So let me explain. We started here in this snowy mountain in the Dwarven mines or whatever they are. The other starter zone is all the way south down here in this little cluster, and this is known as the Riverlands, okay? If we were to ride on our mount along the roads as safe as possible until the roads end and traverse mountains and cross paths with level of like 20 enemies and stuff, it would take 1 hour of real life time to ride all the way down here, okay? And eventually you're going to ride all over the freaking world and do a whole bunch of stuff, right? But not so much in this video. Anyway, the way the world works, the way towns work, is towns are player-made. I'm on a fresh start-ish server that's maybe 3 weeks old at this point. And these are called settlements. Each little region has a settlement that players can build up on and vote for who's mayor and stuff and blah, blah, blah. It's not like it's restricted like, oh, a clan controls the town and you can't use it. No, they can control the town and set taxes. But other than that, that's all they can really do. So over here we have Vlaugadim. And in it, you can see a bunch of player little towns are being built. And this thing, like 2 weeks ago, it was like 3 buildings, and they were all like little camp huts. They were just little, it was like a campsite. And now they've got like actual buildings here. And again, the map will update and show all the new stuff that they're building. You can see there's an orphanage. I don't know what an orphanage does. I don't think that's real. I think that's maybe a well. Okay, a hunting lodge. Caravan, something, warehouse for storing your stuff. Again, you know, the mayor is gonna, like, people vote what's gonna be built, and you could help contribute to the buildings and stuff, and blah, blah, blah. That's the whole settlement system. We're not gonna go over it in this video, but this is how you would get higher level crafting benches, okay, is through settlements, alright? So if you want to craft anything above tier 1 or above level 10, you have to go to a settlement, and you can't become a citizen of a settlement until you're level 10. And when you become a citizen, it's account-wide, not character-wide. So you can't have a character here and here and here. You could use multiple accounts, I suppose, if that isn't against the rules. I don't think it is, you know, to have a, you know, be a citizen here and citizen here. But, you know, you really kind of want to dedicate your time to just one character. It is a grind, and it's still alpha, so it's not permanent anyway. But, yeah, so we are here at Hammer's Rest. That's just to give you a scope or an overview of what the world is. We're going to talk to Commander Dunschasm and get the follow-up. There we go, and he's going to have us talk to Provisioner Hammersong. Now, the way Hammer Rest works is it's just a bunch of stairways and open rooms. It's very simple once you navigate it for just a bit. It takes a bit of getting used to, just like any MMORPG the first time you enter a city, right? And this isn't even a city, it's just a little town. But we're going to turn in the quest here and get the follow-up. And the follow-up quest, which, by the way, dinged us level 5, that's why we got to 4.5, gave us a bunch of gathering tools, okay? And some quest rewards. Yay, quest rewards. Also, I got a mob drop here, which is not better than what I have. So, for the gathering tools, I want to talk about them. You'll notice here that, like, this herbalism sickle, it's only 2 extra speed. Whoop-de-doo, right? Not a big upgrade. However, if you look at the durability, we go from 38 durability to 165. I'll tell you right now, about 165 durability is about 1 hour's worth of gathering time before the gear breaks. What we're going to do is right-click all of the gathering gear and put it on. And that puts us it puts it on this artisanship character tab here, so you can see we have it all equipped. We are not going to throw away these tools. These are still useful. Let me explain why. When you go fishing, fishing is an AFK activity. When you sit near a river and you start fishing, the character does all the work. You don't have to push any buttons. You don't have to do a mini game. You just catch fish. You catch fish until the server kicks you for being AFK or until your fishing pole breaks. When your fishing pole breaks, instead of running all the way to a town to repair it, you just put on your other fishing pole and continue fishing. So that's why we are keeping these in our inventory for now, not forever, but for now we are. All right, also we got some more, chest rewards here. We have the Adventurer's Shoulder Box. We want to get, again, the light armor, as we do. We have leggings, and we, again, want to get the light armor. Always getting that light armor. And now you have a recipe box for belts. The recipe box that you want is the soul folds. We're not crafting this. We're going to have better items dropped for us anyway. But to keep in theme with your light armor, that's the one you would genuinely pick. Alright, there we go. We're going to do a little inventory sort. And so now our quest is we need to gather herbs and do a bunch of other crap. We're not going to do that just yet. We are instead going to do a few other little destiny quests, just super duper quick here. So we're going to go, wow, the map needs to, yeah. We're going to go to the mailbox icon, which is just right up here. This is your mailbox. You won't be using it, don't worry. But next to the mailbox is the storage clerk. We're going to talk to the storage clerk. And here's what's important, very important that you do this. Otherwise, you will have less storage. Click the materials button. You'll see how much storage we have here. It's not a whole lot, right? Click this box and click general storage. Now we have a whole lot of storage, all right? What you're going to do now is you're going to store everything that is not glint. So this Anvil's Essence we have 2 of, all right? And Control, Shift, sometimes it doesn't auto-sort. I really like, I prefer when it auto-sorts. Hold on. Open our bag. Okay. So right-click, yeah. Right-click sorts it over here. I always thought it was Control right-click, which I guess technically works, but it just bugs out sometimes. Why is not all my bag slots, like, expanded? I don't know. My inventory is, like, my inventory window is, like, really tiny. I don't know what's going on with that. But anyway, store everything that isn't glint, and what we're going to do now is close down the storage guy, open your inventory, right-click all of your glint, and that's going to combine into dim glint. You can also combine your dim glint into glowing glint when you have 10 of them, right? It doesn't really matter too much. It's just going to save you some clicks. Now, across from the storage clerk is the Stoneworks vendor. Just open up the Stoneworks vendor. As long as this is open. This is also where you repair, by the way. All vendors have a repair button and a repair all button. We don't need any repairs, though. Right-click your glint and then sell it for silver, okay? This is what glint is used for early game. Later, once you're level 10 and you get into a settlement, you can spend your glint on town upgrades and stuff, but don't worry about that too much. We just need a lot of silver for a lot of gear processing and crafting, okay? And now, by accessing the storage and accessing the vendor and selling the glint, we have done some destiny quests. So, you'll notice our first steps is now 8 out of 8. We're going to claim that, and we're also going to claim these rewards, which, hey, look at that, it gave us some more glint. Alright, very, very cool. Also, at level 5, we've unlocked Initiate Adventurer, Crafting, Gathering, and Processing. Now, because the main story quest we have wants us to gather and process and craft, if we did not grind earlier, we would not be level 5, and we would not get credit towards these destinies. That's why I had you grind, okay? Go back to the vendor, sell the glint you just got, and there we go. We're at 24 silver. Not too bad. It could be better. Could be worse, though. And what we're going to do now is we are... Oh, I have a stamina point to allocate. I'll just go ahead and allocate it right there real quick. Oh, and we're level 5, so we can now choose the other one that we didn't choose, which would be Bombardment. Again, if you went Bombardment first, you would now go Cone of Cold. That's just the skill order. That should also have completed the Novice Combat Destiny right here to learn skills, giving us more glint, and claiming this reward gives us the Ranged Weapon Chest. So again, we want to make sure that our inventory is completely empty, because when we go out into the world, we do not want to risk losing stuff if we die. Now, we've got some pretty good upgrades here from these Destiny rewards. Okay, we have the Adventurer's Health Kit. Let's just grab another Health Salve. Why not? There we go. The Wanderer's Chest, again, we're grabbing the Light Armor version. That's 153 defense from 59. Very, very good. Next up, we have the Melee Weapon Chest. We're going to choose the Scepter. That is a huge boost in power. And the ranged weapon, we're choosing the Tome of Spells, which is another boost. Check this out. Our scepter had 71 magic power, now it has 248. 7 intelligence, now we have 23. Very, very cool. And a lot more magic speed, so we're going to start casting faster. Alright, there we go. Now, this spell tome, we go from 152 to 397, and we also get way more magic crit power, more intelligence, magic evasion. Now, let me talk about gear. For your weapons, these act as stat sticks when they are not in use. So the magic power we get from the Tome of Spells, even though we may be whacking the enemy with the scepter or have the scepter out, we still get the magic power when we cast spells from the Tome of Spells. The only thing we don't get is, if you have a shield with block rate, you do not get the block rate unless the shield is pulled out, unfortunately. As far as the dull focus goes, well, I can show you that right now. So, let's see, we have the tome out. I don't know, we have the scepter out, so we have the dull focus with magic power. And if we swap weapons, the stats remain the exact same, right? Magic power, nothing is changing. So the focus, we are getting the stats from, even though it's not pulled out. The gear that we replaced, we're going to then vendor, so this old spellbook, we're getting rid of it. And the reason why is we don't want to accidentally put these items back on. If they cannot be sold, just trash them. Let's see, lost robes, these things, and the pants. And then make sure that you organize your inventory, and it should look maybe something similar to this. You might have more stuff, you might not. Now, one other thing before we go do some questing and gathering, because we're going to start gathering here, is across from the storage clerk, if we turn to our right from the storage clerk, over here is equipment vendor Liza, and this NPC sells gathering bags, and we want to buy 2 of these mining satchels. Alright, so go ahead and buy 2 of these. It's going to cost 2 silver, 88 copper. There we go. So let me explain how to equip these bags. You can just right click it and put it on, and it's going to go into your materials slot just like this. But the proper way to equip a bag is to click this box and click the bag you want to swap it in with. That's generally how you would do it. Also, I hate how... I want this window to be bigger, and it's not. It's kind of like... It's normally way bigger. I'm not sure why it's short for me. But the way these mining satchels work is whenever you gather an ingredient, it can stack up to a certain amount. So we're going to go mine granite, and granite takes up a 2x2 square. That's right, it takes up 2x2. And you can stack it to 20. The mining satchel gives us a plus stack size of 23, which means if we put it in the satchel, it now stacks up to 43 instead of 20, which is more than double the inventory space, but for mining ingredients. And yeah, you could put non-mining ingredients in here, like you can put a 1x1 or a 1x2 horizontal or a 1x2 vertical in here. You absolutely could. But it would not receive the stack bonus because it only stacks the bonus for mining materials. There we go. Now I have my inventory elongated so I can see like most of the bags here. And I just had to click the little bottom corner a whole bunch. I don't know. It's still an alpha. They'll fine tune it eventually. Also at level 5 you automatically get this illuminate. Now I have a best settings guide that has you tweak your graphic settings. So you don't really ever need this. It brightens up the room, sure, whatever. But if you're using an NVIDIA card and you just up your contrast, you can see in the dark without any kind of spells anyway. And now that we bought a gathering bag, that is a gathering novice destiny reward here for equip a gathering bag. So we're going to claim that little reward. Alright, so now it's time to finally head outside and see the sunlight, is it? It is dawn. Ooh, morning. Sometimes it's nighttime. I hate filming YouTube videos when it's nighttime, but heading northeast out of the mountain for the first time, you can finally see the sky and the birds and the clouds. Wow, but don't go outside just yet. No. Right next to the entrance is a commission board, and this has a bunch of quests. Just pick them all up, and we'll be doing these on and off as we do other things. These are repeatable quests that give XP, they give glint, which is money, and a random chest with random stuff in it. Oh boy. Now, keep a mental note right here in the top right corner. Refreshes in 28 minutes. So that would be, that's a little bit after 11 p.m. for me. I'm playing a little late tonight. But what we're going to do is when we go outside, we need to gather herbs from any flower. And we're going to actually craft 2 bags, even though it only wants us to craft 1 bag. So let me show you what to gather. All right. So the little white flowers here, this is called Snowdrop. And to gather it, walk up until you see the little white dot, get close to the white dot, stand still, and push F. Your character will then pull out the tool and start gathering. There we go. And, yeah, let's get a little butt shot there. And anyway, so when you finish gathering, you'll notice we got 3 snowdrop, and it is right here in our bag. We need 10 of a mixture between snowdrop and daffodil. Daffodil is the orange-looking flowers on the ground. Sometimes there's a lot out here, sometimes there's not. Just ride around outside and you'll see plenty. Just keep riding around and you will eventually find it. So, again, you can see right around this little mountain corner here. We've got 6, and I need 10. So I'm going to continue to gather until I have 10 of these. Next up, we are going to chop 55 trees. I recommend that you chop the tree that's called Eastern Hemlock, and I recommend that you don't chop the adolescent ones. So you want the big, thick, grown adult trees. And the reason why I don't recommend that you mix the breed of tree is so that it doesn't clog your inventory space. So we have adult Eastern Hemlock, and you're going to need 55 wood. Now, here's the thing when you gather. Sometimes when you gather items, they'll be white, green, blue, or golden. It doesn't matter what color you gather for the sake of this crafting and questing. Just make sure that you get the amount that we need. So that gave me 5 wood. The reason we chop the adult ones is because not only do they give more wood, but they also have a higher chance at a higher rarity of items. They also give more XP. By the way, not only are we getting gathering XP, we are also getting regular XP as well. So this is leveling us up. Just continue chopping wood until you have 55 wood. And by the way, I recommend that you, when you curve out towards this road, that you take the northeastern path. And you also want to eventually curve into this little mountain pass, this mountain gap here, and go northwest. And there's mountain lions up here. We need to kill 4 mountain lions, but we need to actually kill 5. Even though we have a little quest that says slay 4 mountain lions, we're killing 5, because that will also complete a destiny quest. Also, if you want to do some mining, we're going to need to do a lot of mining. Even though we're a caster, we need a lot of metal for our weapons. So this is granite. It looks like eggs, like if rocks were eggs. They're kind of like bumpy egg, lumpy shapes. So go ahead and mine this. It will automatically put the mining materials in your satchels, so don't worry about it clogging this stuff up. And again, we have a lot of stuff to gather. I know. This is what happens when you craft your own gear. I want to talk about killing the mountain lions real quick too, because they are around. Now, you'll notice that the mountain lion has a star next to its name. This means that it is an elite mob. But have no fear, these things are actually pretty easy to kill. They have low HP. They're not nearly as hard as those guardians that we fought earlier. They do a pounce attack though, so you kind of want to be on your toes a little bit, but you can see they absolutely melt. We just absolutely blow them away. So again, just keep killing them until you've killed at least 5 of them. So once you've killed the 5 mountain lions, you'll notice here in your quest log, which, there we go, you'll see it says all objectives completed in green. We're going to click that, and then click complete commission. That'll give us the XP, and it will give us a chest here we can also open, and this can just give us some random stuff. It looks like we got a scroll of processing experience. Now, as far as I'm aware, hold on, I know you can't see it. As far as I'm aware, the way this works is you get XP for processing whenever you pull the item out of the crafting bench. So you would pop this before pulling it out. Someone in my comments said this is no longer the case, and if it isn't, I'm sorry. I haven't used scrolls enough to really know if it is. But this early on, it's a level 1 scroll. It's not really a big deal if you don't use it correctly. So don't beat yourself up. Just know that processing will take a lot of money and time. It's not something you're going to do as a brand new player. Well, to level up, that is. Now, even though you may have completed the quest to kill the mountain lions, go ahead and continue to grind on them when you see them, because they are elite mobs. They do give more XP than normal, and yeah, you kill them really fast as a mage, so you might as well. They also have good drops, so there's no reason not to kill them when you see them. Alright, so I have 55 wood here. You can see 25, 45, and then 55. We've got at least 10 plants. We did a bit of mining, but we did not find any metal, unfortunately, and rough rime is not a metal, I know, but we did get some ruby. We will need 8 ruby later, but we'll do a big mining sesh later. But right now, while we are outside of Hammer Rest, we're going to be using the milling station to get started on processing all of this wood. Here's how that works. We're going to go to the table saw. This is the purple icon with the saw blade. And if we go to Eastern Hemlock Timber, which is what we need to turn the wood into timber, it says we need sanding powder. So when you mouse over this, it'll tell you where to buy it from the wood shop marketplace. Marketplace being only in settlements. So we have a wood shop vendor here. And remember the name. We needed, what is it called again? It is called sanding powder. So if we talk to the wood shop vendor, well, there's no sanding powder here. Well, yes, there is. Click the material box right up here. And there's a whole lot of stuff. So the easier way to find it, rather than scrolling up and down and looking for it, is to just type a few letters of the word we're looking for. So sanding powder would be SA. You can type POW for powder. So I'm just going to type SA, and there is sanding powder. Now we need 55 sanding powder because we need to make 55 timber. This will cost us, after tax, 6 silver, 60 copper. We're going to go ahead and buy that. Also, we're going to go ahead and sell all the glint that we acquired from the mountain lions we've killed. There we go. And we're going to go back to the saw table. And now that we have the ingredients, you see the in parenthesis, we have 55. We're going to click and drag the quantity to 55. We're going to click add and then shift right click all of the wood over here to submit it. Now, this will take 27 minutes and 30 seconds to process of real life time. It's going to cost us 19 silver, 25 copper. So that's most of our money right now. Don't worry, we're going to make more. We have 62 copper to our name. We're about to get more. Watch. Push L. You should have completed a few destinies here. We're going to go do Initiate Adventurer. Claim this little reward for 5 glint. There it is. All right, and that is kill 5 elite enemies. That means 5 mountain lions. Under crafting, we completed this one. That's just for XP. Under gathering, we completed gather 50 wood, stone, or metal. That's going to give us a glint because we did the other one to get a gathering bag. We can now claim this glint reward, so that's 2 more glint. And now we're going to sell that glint to the vendor, giving us 8 silver. Yay! And what we're going to do with that 8 silver is we're going to do the same thing with the plants that we harvested, so we can get that started and then make some bags. Every time you go in and out of town, you check the commission board. Now, right now, I've already completed the Slay Mountain Lion quest, but in 10 minutes, I can pick it up again and get more rewards. So the quest wants us to buy drat wine wax. So we're going to go to the textile mill vendor. We're going to click materials. We're going to type DR for drat, and we're going to actually buy 10. All right. It's 1 silver, 20 copper. There we go. It wants us to buy a Packrite Universal Strap set. So we're going to buy 2 of these because we're going to be crafting 2 bags. That is only 24 copper. We're going to go over here to the purple icon, which is the weaving station. We're going to click coarse thread, drag the quantity to 10, add the 10 plants, and we're going to pay the 3 silver 50 copper fee. It's going to take 5 minutes to process. There we go. I don't need these plants, so I'm going to trash them. There we go. I'm just going to sort the inventory just a little bit there. And, well, there's not much that I can go out and do in this 5 minutes worth of time. So I'm just going to take a break and stretch my legs, and I'll be right back. Alright, the thread is complete. And by the way, never click the cancel button because you lose all your materials, and I don't think you get a refund. But we're going to send that to inventory. And with those ingredients, that guy was right on top of my character. Anyway, we're going to go to the tailoring station here, which is the blue icon. It looks like a spindle of wool or whatever. And we're going to click bag and simple rucksack. We're going to click add. Shift right click the coarse thread. We can only craft 1 at a time. Only 75 copper. Go ahead and craft it. Boom. There we go. We're going to do that 1 more time and submit once again. Awesome. And the reason why we want these bags is these are nice little general bags. I'll show you what they look like. You can put one on. There we go. It's not as big as our starter bag, obviously, but these are nice to have when you do lots of mob grinding. But for now, we're going to keep on the mining satchels because we need to do a lot of mining. After that, we can then turn in the quest here to the NPC. There we go, and get the follow-up quest. Alright, now before you do this follow-up quest, remember, this quest wants us to pick up a trade pack, which means players can gank and kill us. So what I recommend that you do is you walk over here to the mail bunks and you go to the storage clerk and you store everything. Even though I don't have much to lose, it is still safer to store things, okay? Because people, even though there's guards around, they will still gank you and you will still lose your stuff. But I'm gonna risk it because I'm a YouTuber, and it would be funny if someone actually did prove my point. But we're going to travel towards the storage area and then down the hall a bit, and that's where we are going to turn this in. And remember, you can do dodge rolls, and you will get there just a little bit faster. So over here is the mailbox, and then across the hall up these stairs is where it wants us to turn it in. Now, it may look like, hey, look, an NPC with an exclamation point. This is clearly where I turned it in. No, it's not. If you talk to this NPC, nothing happens. What you need to do is walk over to the scaffolding and then push F, and then turn it in that way. There we go. Once you've turned it in, run back to the original NPC and get the follow-up quest. The NPC calls us a hoe, which I guess we are, right? I mean, we're a female elf, right? Anyway, jokes aside, we get a follow-up now to talk to the NPC back in the middle. This says, present yourself. I mean, we are a hoe, right? I'm kidding, YouTube, please. It's a video game guide video. Anyway, talk to Commander Dunes and Chasm. He's going to give us a quest now to go to the Vinebreaker mines, which we are not going to do until much, much later. That is a higher level zone. It's usually pretty packed full of people anyway. But by doing these quests, we got some important recipe rewards. Let me explain. We received a weapon box, a potion box, and then the same weapon and potion box. So we're going to open the potion boxes first. You can choose between arcane and might recipes, so you want to get both recipes. We got the arcane one, so this time we'll choose the might one and go ahead and learn those. Now, this is very important. If you mess this up, you have to re-roll and start over, okay? It's worth starting over if you mess this up, so don't mess this up. We are going to open a weapons box, and we are going to learn the Wayward Spellbook recipe. And then we're going to open this second weapon box, and we're going to learn the Wayward Scepter recipe. These are the two weapons we are going to craft. It is going to exponentially increase our power and make us absolutely deal massive damage and make grinding a breeze. It's going to make the entire early part of your game fast, easy, and simple. And so everything that we're doing up to this point, we're going to be mixing our grinding with our gathering in order to craft these. So we're already processing the wood, so the wood is done. The main grind that's really hard is getting the metal shards. And we need 43 metal shards and 8 rubies. And then the rest is just a few little willy-nilly things here and there, but that is the main grind. So what we need to do now is we need to go out and mine. We need to go out and mine, and as we mine, we still need to grind, but we also need 20 Anvil's Essences, okay? By the way, every time you go out, hit up the vendor, sell your glint. You don't want to be carrying around your glint, okay? But, yeah, we're gonna go mine, and, let's see. Has it been 10 minutes yet? Yes, it has. Let's get another Mountain Lion quest, and, we're off to the races. So we're going to run around and mine nodes. I really like mining the nodes up here, but ever since I've been putting it in my guides, someone's always there camping it now. So you might have to ride, just ride along the mountains all over the place, and you're going to find mining nodes, and just fill up an entire satchel of mining while you kill mountain lions, alright? Kill mountain lions, go mine, and then when you're waiting for the mining nodes to respawn, which is every 3 to 5 minutes, go kill mountain lions, and those things respawn every 20 seconds. So, you're just gonna ping-pong between the two. So, here is a handy-dandy list of the items that we currently need. We need 43 metal fragments, which you will get from refining zinc, copper, and tendonite. Alright? So, by mining granite, you have a chance to get zinc and tendonite, and by mining basalt, which is a more pillar, column-looking rock on the ground, you will have a chance to get copper. Also, all of the granite and all of the basalt we will be mining, we can turn into sand, which will also give us this metal as a byproduct. So it is something that we need to do to eliminate the, because getting metal from mining granite and basalt is luck-based. It is not guaranteed, which means this guide aims to eliminate any luck-based factors, which means we will take granite, we will turn it into sand, which is not only expensive and time-consuming to do, well, that's all it is, really. It's just expensive and time-consuming. We're going to be spending, like, 40 silver per, like, 3, 4, 5 stacks of granite. But, yeah, that's essentially it. That's all I'm doing right now. And, again, I'll show you where I'm at on the map. I am just, like, here is Hammer Rest. I am just north of Hammer Rest. Follow the road, curve around this way, and just kind of go up and down these little mountain crevices, these mountain caverns. So this is what basalt looks like. It looks like little columns or pillars of stone. So again, this is something else you can also mine, and this is how you get copper. You're going to need lots of basalt and granite to turn into sand to get enough metal to craft your weapons anyway. At level 6, there's really not much to choose right now. I think that Hoarfrost is pretty good if you want more damage, because it's the fastest thing you can cast for a decent amount of damage, but you don't really need this. Like, you already deal enough damage with what you have. What I recommend at level 6 is that you pick Blink, your first movement ability, and at level 7, you will have the ability to, after you cast Blink, that your next Fireball will be instant cast, and so what you do is whenever you reset your Fireball during combat and the enemy's closing in, you just Blink and Fireball again, and that will pretty much eliminate everything without, you know, dragging out combat any longer. And as you grind, make sure that you are clicking your dull glint to stack it up so that it doesn't take up as much inventory space, and keep everything nice and organized, because eventually your mining satchels will fill up, and you want to have room in your regular bag up top to store more 2x2 blocks. So I can store 4 2x2 blocks as long as I don't fill, you know, at least 3 of these up with glint. Now, after weapon level 6, you can go for combo damage, you can go for penetration. I like penetration, but you can choose literally whatever you want. Let's see. I'm going to do this one here. This one is 5% more base damage. It's not super important. It does not make or break your character, and you can respec them at any time. So don't beat yourself up about your choices. Also, for Mountain Lions, you don't have to do your full combo because they're so weak. So instead, you can just do Fireball, like so, into your ranged auto attacks to reset your Fireball cooldown, and then you can just use Combust. They will be dead. Your Fireball will have its cooldown up for another Mountain Lion. That way, you will always have Fireball up right as you kill one Mountain Lion in order to kill the next one. But it really depends on how much damage you deal, your level, and all that stuff. So you can see here, boom, I killed one. I can immediately Fireball the next one. And remember, it's your auto attacks after the third little spell that you shoot out. If you don't get knocked down, otherwise it resets your combo. That is what resets your Fireball. So this is how you can save a lot of time on your cooldowns. It's just getting that third shot off before they pounce on you is a little bit tricky sometimes. But you can see in this case, I didn't get the combo off, so my Fireball is on cooldown. But, you know, if you cast for max range... There we go, just like that. Okay, well, that guy pulled that, so that's no longer my mob. Even though I'm going to get some credit for that. Oh, look, here it comes. There we go. No loot, of course, because the guy tagged it. Well, that's again, the annoying thing with mages, is if you don't open with an instant cast ability, someone might steal it. And I think he stole that one too. He might have. Hard to tell. No, I did get that one. Okay, cool. But I did not get my combo reset, so. We'll try it again. Fireball. Into auto attacks. Oh, we got a crit there. There we go. He didn't, the pounce failed to land. I got my Fireball reset. And now I'm ready to Fireball the next guy. But you get the idea. So let me show you a bit of the flow of how this looks. So we're going to Fireball the Mountain Lion while we just kind of strafe around and auto attack it 3 times. Maybe dodging the pounce. We did not. So we have to auto attack it again. There we go. So now that's dead. And then we're going to Fireball the next target. Hopefully this time dodging the pounce. Again, we're auto attacking. And I like to jump towards the end. And that kind of dodges it sometimes. There we go. We got our cooldown reset. We're Fireballing the next Mountain Lion. Now, our Conflag, or our Combust, is on cooldown, so that's when we use Cone of Cold there, and you can see they die pretty damn quick. We got our Fireball cooldown back, we have our Combust cooldown back, and you just endlessly chain this, and you only stop when you are low on mana, and you can see there that we got that one down. And you can loot while you charge your Fireball, by the way, don't forget that. Here we go, we got the dodge, got the combo, hit the Cone of Cold. Loot the mountain lion, turn around, fireball this one, and you just get into this flow state, and you will level from 6 to 7, 6, 7, very, very quickly. I'm sorry, I had to do it, okay? I love the memes. But remember, we need a total of 20 of these Anvil's Essences. I only have 10 right now, so I need another 10, and I know I have like a few in storage, sure, but it's still not enough, so... again, we need to continue grinding, and we still need a lot of glint, which is how we, you know, glint is silver, and we're going to need a lot of silver from grinding. Also, sometimes I just overpulled here, so that's fine. You're just going to face tank the mountain lion while it shreds you in the eyeballs. I also messed up my combo there, so I'm not going to get my fireball back, but hey, that's what I get for trying to, you know, be a YouTuber and all. But if you don't want to think... You can just piano the buttons. Just push all the buttons on your keyboard, and stuff like this will happen, where you fireball them right as you get pounced. And again, these things will die. There's literally nothing stopping you. Like, they're so weak, and they give good XP. Trust me, they give very good XP for what they are. There is no reason not to constantly kill these. They have good drops. They have good gear drops. Speaking of gear drops, I got a ring. I actually got a really good helmet. I have done this run 8 times now, and I've not seen this helmet once, so this is a very rare drop. But when you are level 7, you are going to pick this one, Accelerated Blink. After casting Blink, your next fireball is instant. And oh boy, let me show you what the rotation is at 7. So you fireball into your autos. And I did not only did I not get the auto off, I also got interrupted during Blink, so it's also on cooldown. So that's not what, you don't want to do that. Also, the realms are going down in 5 minutes, so you're going to see a big time jump up here in the top right soon. But let me show you the rotation. And this is where it gets even faster. So we open with Fireball, getting some distance so we can do our ranged combo. So 1, 2, charging up for that third. We got the third, Blink into Fireball, and it's dead. And, yeah. Now, that also puts your fireball on cooldown, so you'll have to auto-attack to get it back. But hey, you've got all your other cooldowns to dump onto these mountain lions. It is technically faster. You can also open with it, too. Like, if I want to blink forward and then insta-fireball the mountain lion, you can do that. But, you know, since you're not in combat, you can just chill and, you know, conjure it like a normie mage, I suppose. It's really up to you. Remember, not to zone out too much while you're mob grinding. You need to do... Mining is very important. And when we have around 40 glint worth of materials, that's when we need to start processing our the first amount of granite that we will have. You can see here, I have 5 silver right now, and then this is 30, 36. So I have about 40 silver, so I should really head back to town and start turning some of this granite into sand. But you also don't want to go back to town empty-handed. You kind of want full freaking bags. So I've got at least 86 granite there. The servers go down in 3 minutes. It would be really, really good if I could get there in time and get this started so that when the servers come up, it would be ready for me. That would save a lot of production time on my part. So I am now going to go attempt that. Also, when the servers are going down like this, you should really get somewhere safe. You don't want a random mob to aggro you and then kill you, because then you would lose a lot of your materials, and it would really suck to lose a lot of our materials. So, yeah. You gotta stay safe out there, lads. Back in town, go to the commission board, grab whatever we can, and go to any vendor, sell the glint. Always, always, always sell that glint until you're level 10, of course. Then you might want to hold on to it. And we would normally store everything so that we can do another mining session. However, I am... Oh, I'm making it close here. So, I'm going to show you how to turn your granite into sand. You're going to go over to this purple anvil icon. This is the forge. And you're going to go to sand and click crush granite. We're going to need crag shatter salts. So I'm going to go to the smithy vendor, and then I'm going to go to material type crag. And I need 83 of these, and yes, I am speedrunning this because the servers are going down. Like right now, that's going to cost 9 silver. Ooh, that's a lot, right? But anyway, we're going to go to sand now and go to granite. Move the quantity all the way up. Add all the granite that we have. Submit it, and that's going to cost 6 silver. That's going to take 1 hour, 23 minutes. We're going to start that job, and you can see... we made it just before the server went down. When we will always get sand from this crushed granite, but we will also have a chance, even though it says 0, this is a lie. We have a chance to get copper, zinc, tendonite, and coal. We need copper, zinc, and tendonite because that's how we get metal fragments. Copper fragments, zinc fragments, and tendonite fragments. Alright, cool. So the servers are going down right now. I still need more of these Anvil's Essences, so we still need to grind. We're still not level 8 yet. And I'll be back in 3 hours, because it's server downtime for 3 hours. Mwah, goodbye. Did I say 3 hours? I meant 15 hours. Alright, so the granite is definitely done cooking here. And here's what we get. We get 10 copper, 5 zinc, and 8 tendonite. So that is 23 metal, which is, we definitely need a lot more than that, of course. So we're going to have to do a lot more mining. We're going to have to turn a lot more of our materials into sand. You can see that this is a process, but to help, keep track of everything, we should go to our storage, put it all in there, and see where we are at. And again, we're going to store everything that isn't glint, and we're going to be selling all of the glint. So, just going to move all this in there. It will auto-sort, auto-stack with what it needs. You can see we are 12 out of 20 Anvil's Essence. We need 8 more of those. And, that's just a bit of a grind away. It's not too far away or anything, but while we're in town, and since we have some silver, we definitely need to pull out whichever material that we have the most of and get cracking on it. So it looks like we have, we could either do 13 metal fragments, or I can, let's do the basalt here. We'll go ahead and make the basalt into sand and get some more metal while we go out and mine some more. Same process, we're getting the crag shatter salts. We're going to buy 20. And there we go, purchase and purchase. Then we go back over here to our bench, go to sand, and this time we're doing basalt. Same thing, same results. Add the basalt, and yeah, that's gonna 20 minutes, not too bad. But we could definitely do a lot of grinding in 20 minutes, so we don't have to come back right away. We just need to make sure that we're at least having something cooking as we do our grind. And yeah. At some point, your weapons will start to reach level 8. And when they do, you unlock this second weapon kind of skill slot. Now, for the scepter, I recommend follow through. This just gives you more more mana regeneration of sorts, but you almost never will be caught meleeing anyway. And if you're out of mana and you need to melee, well, this is how you get your mana back, so that you can blink away, cast some instant cast spells, and do what you need to do. Now, for the Tome of Spells, with the current playstyle, Ward doesn't do much because this would give us temporary HP. You might switch to this whenever you are fighting elite mobs, if they are, chunking your HP down, but otherwise you just want Keen Edge. This gives you critical strike chance, and even more critical strike chance as you are casting abilities, which you will be weaving your auto attack in between your abilities. So go Keen Edge, though. At this point, it also might mess up your rotation, because you might end up killing the mobs before you finish your full combo, which means you don't get your fireball cooldown up. But pretty soon, once we have just enough essence, and you can see that I need about 3 more, we can then start crafting very powerful weapons and move on from killing mountain lions, because I'm sure you're getting pretty bored killing these things by now. Alright, after some grinding, we have enough essence now combined with our stash to be able to craft our weapons. I also got pretty lucky with metal drops while mining. I got 7 copper, 19 tendonite. That's a lot. I normally never get that much. And we have 9 zinc. So combined, all 3 metals with what we have in storage, we might have 43 metals. And we also had some granite cooking into sand, and we can get more metal from that. We should be all squared away and ready to go. And wouldn't you know it, I was busy talking to you guys and not going to the commission board and getting another set of Slay the Mountain Lion quests. Again, you want to stack those quests every chance you get. Now, we've been doing a lot of gatherings, so we're going to hit this repair all button. It's only 1 silver. That way we can have our gear repaired. Now, sometimes this button doesn't work. In previous videos, I've just kind of not explained the repair all button, but you would normally just click repair, open your character pane, go to artisanship, repair all your gathering tools. If you manage to die from a player or mobs, you would repair your gear, though you shouldn't be PvPing at this point in the game. But yeah, since we're in town, you know the drill. Sell your glint, and only the glint. Don't sell the other stuff. That stuff is valuable. And there is no buyback tab, so make sure you don't misclick. And yeah, after that, we're going to then store everything so we can see exactly how much that we have. Now, depending on your luck and drop rate, you might actually not have enough storage, and that's okay, because we can actually ride down to the settlement, which is just down the road here. If we go south to the Hammer Rest Trades Outpost, there is another storage clerk there. And man, everyone's standing on top of me, so it makes my character stuck. But yeah. Now let's go check on the granite we had cooking, or the slit, or the basalt. I forget what it is we made, but we need to tally up how much metal we have and then get that started with processing. So here we go. We got 3, 3, and 1. So not too much, but if we stack that with what's in storage, we're going to pull out whichever metal we have the biggest stack of and cook that here. And then the smaller stack we're going to cook at that trade outpost. That way we are cooking 2 at a time, and it's just more time efficient. We need 43 metal shards, and I would normally recommend that you just cook all of your metals into shards so that you can use it to craft later and you don't have to wait. But in this case, to be more time efficient, half of 43 rounded up or down or whatever would be 22. So we're just going to instead do stacks of 22. There we go, and then I will just pull 2 of this out. So we have 22 tendonite and 22 zinc. And copper is a little bit harder to come by than these other 2, in my opinion. So I would rather not cook the copper unless I absolutely need to. But this is our metals, and we're going to go back to that same workbench that we used to process stone into sand to make the metals into fragments. And I believe it's smoldering ash, but let me check. We're going right back here to the metal working station. We're going to go to tendonite fragments. It is smoldering ash. We're going to go ahead and buy... I'm just going to go ahead and buy 44 because that's how many... We only need 43, but I'm going to process the 44. There we go. Purchase those. Now, we can only do 1 at a time per bench because it's a novice bench. So I'm going to do the zinc here. And they're both the same. They both have the same cook time. This is going to be 11 minutes and cost me 7 silver. So we're going to go ahead and start that job. And then what we're going to do now is, like I said, we're going to leave town. And we're going to ride all the way south to the hammer trade outpost. And yeah, so just down the road, down south, right to that little town. So as soon as you get to this town, it will complete one of your destinies under Adventurer. And that is travel to another settlement. That's worth 5 glint and 1,000 XP. Make sure that you vendor that glint, by the way. You're going to need every penny for all the processing we're going to be doing. And yeah, so now that we're here in the town, we're just going to find the exact same bench, which again is the anvil icon. And we already bought the materials, though if you didn't, you could buy it from the smithy vendor here. So we are now going to have this processing the tendonite. Go ahead and add that, and it's the same cost and same amount of time. Now, while we're here, there's a few things that we can also do. There are 2 commission boards that are different somewhat than the one in our starter town. The first one is this small green looking commission board, and you can find this on the map because it'll have an exclamation point that says commission board on your map, whatever. When you talk to it, you'll notice it's the same quest that we had before, but because we already have those quests, it won't let us double dip. In order to double dip, I would have to go slay 4 mountain lions, then ride to this commission board, and then pick it up again. And you can totally do that. That way you can do the same quest twice within the refresh period. Next up, there is another commission board just across the street over here. And again, you can see it as an exclamation point on your map. This one is bigger and has a little chest on the ground. And this one has a bunch of different things for gathering. Mostly gathering, like gathering Eastern Hemlock, which we did earlier. Snowdrop, zinc, and daffodils. You get the idea. It's always random. And what I recommend is that you just pick all of the ones up for things that you might or want to gather in the future. So I would do Hemlock, Snowdrop, zinc, daffodils, granite. I can't mine tin yet because I'm not a higher level miner. Western Larch is another tree that's kind of a skinnier tree that's nearby, so you could do this. But I don't like mixing the tree breeds unless I am like full going into lumberjacking. It takes up too much inventory space, right? So I would check this in the refresh period, and even if we don't complete these quests, we still get a whole new set of quests. And I swear I clicked the granite one and it didn't want to pick up for some reason. I don't know. Sometimes this board gets bugged out like hell. In 2 of my previous guide videos, this thing didn't even work. So I've kind of stopped prioritizing players to run here first and do it. Though it would be kind of semi-optimal to do so when it is working, but it hasn't been working for me. Anyway, while we're here in the area, there might be some quests that you want to bang out. Otherwise, you can just let your stuff cook for however long it's going to take to process. For me, it was 11 minutes, which to me, that's like a, hey, let's step away from the computer, let's get a snack, maybe get something to drink, and then come back. At this point, I won't really be doing any more mining, so I'm going to swap out these mining satchels for the regular rucksacks because we're going to be doing a lot of mob grinding in the future, and mob grinding is how you develop your weapon levels. It's how you get glints for money. It's just a better way to, and a faster way to progress your character. But you technically could just be a gatherer, crafter, processor. All of that stuff does level you up. It's just, this game has really good combat, so I don't know why you would play this game to be a gatherer. There's other MMOs that are kind of more suited for gathering, in my opinion. Alright, so I just AFK'd. We have 22 Tendonite fragments. We're going to go ahead and claim that, and then we will ride back to Hammer Rest and get the other 22 metal fragments, and we only need 43. I just wanted to have a nice even number. Remember all the timber we were processing way back when? Well, it's time to pick it up. Here we go. We got 55 Eastern Hemlock timber. You also get some wood chips, which we're not going to use in this video, but it's just nice to have. There we are. And yeah, it's all going to come together. We're here at the storage clerk, and we're actually going to pull out just a little bit of granite. It doesn't matter what quality. I'm just going to grab some granite there. And right next to us is this icon that looks like a bunch of bricks. This is the stone masonry table. And we also need one other thing too from storage, and I forgot. That is rubies. So we're going to need 8 rubies. I'm just going to grab a stack of rubies. There we go. And if you go to the stone masonry table, you'll see a cut gem section here, and we want to cut some ruby. So we're going to need 8 gem cleansers. We're going to buy that from the Stoneworks vendor. I'm just going to type gem there, and then we will buy 8 of these. Go ahead and purchase those. Very cheap, only 96 copper. Awesome. Alright, and then we are going to have this, cooking. It doesn't take as long as the other stuff we've made, though, so we're going to add the ruby. And that's going to cost 2.8 silver for 4 minutes. Pretty quick job that we have going on there. And while we're waiting, we're going to grab the other metal fragments. There they are. Awesome stuff. And remember, this is leveling up your metalworking ability. It's giving you regular experience points. So, that's worth like killing 5 mountain lions or so. And, yeah. Now, normally, while we wait for things to cook, we would go outside and grind or gather, do something productive. But we need to craft one other thing on this stone masonry bench, and that is granite weapon molds. So I'll explain. Now, it's very important when you're crafting your weapon mold that you do not craft an armor mold. I did that in a video. It's very embarrassing. So always close the armor mold box. It will open by default every time you open the stone masonry bench. Click weapon mold, and you're going to click granite weapon mold. It takes 3 granites. We need 3 of these. 3 granite, 3 processed timber, and 3 binding resin. So I'm going to go ahead and buy the binding resin right now. So I'm just going to type B for binding resin. We're going to buy 3 of these. There we go. And once the rubies are done being cut, we will then make the 3 weapon granite molds. And with all of that's all we really need. Also, from storage, I'm going to need to pull out those anvil essences, because we will need 10 of those per weapon, because we are crafting 2 weapons. And I don't know why I ran over that way. I was already at the storage bench, but hey, we have like 4 minutes to kill. Might as well get a jog in. But yeah, these things, the anvil's essence, we're going to also pull that out. And we could throw the wood chips in. We don't need wood chips for anything. And we can also put these rubies back, because we already have the ones we need in the workbench. So while we wait, this is a good time to vendor all the random drops we've been getting from killing mountain lions. Like, I don't need this ring, or these boots, or this green axe, which could be nice, but it's not really that nice compared to what we're about to craft. But yeah, just go ahead and sell all the equipment pieces that you simply do not need. Also, one of your destinies has given you this Gatherer's shirt box, and this isn't too important because these things are pretty easy to get, but whatever gathering profession you want to go is what shirt you would pick. I'm not going to really tell you a specific one in this video. There isn't. I would recommend against fishing if you are a solo player. because fishing, sport fishing is very group dependent. It's not something, I mean, you can do it solo, but it's not gonna be good money compared to everything else. Alright, the rubies are ready, so we're gonna go ahead and claim those, and then we're going to, again, weapon mold, very important, we do weapon mold. And not armor, you can't can't make weapons from armor mold. 1 silver, 1 minute 30 seconds, very, very quick cooking job. Alright, the weapon modes are now complete, we're gonna go ahead and add that. And we're crafting at the kind of the forge area, but also that magical staff icon, the arcane engineering station. It doesn't matter which one we go to, they're both good. So let's go to the arcane engineering station first. It is the little magic staff icon, and we are going to be crafting a spell book, the Wayward Book of Spells. So you'll see it needs timber, metal fragments, gems, and essence. But we also need something called Book's Final Touches. If we mouse over it, it says that we can purchase at the laboratory, whatever. Well, the vendor's right next door. So we're just going to go to material and type B for book, and then buy a Book's Final Touches. Only 8 copper, super duper cheap. Go ahead and purchase that. And with that, we have everything we need to make the book. Make sure that you're crafting the Wayward Book of Spells and not something else. It will have a pretty high amount of magic attack power. Alright, we're going to add the timber. And then we're going to add the metal, the gems, and the any dropped essence being anvil's essence, because we're in the anvils. 75 copper to craft. There we go, we did it, we got the book. Now we're going to go just across the street here to this weaponsmithing station. It's got the hammer and sword crossing icon. We're going to go to scepter, and we want to craft the Wayward Scepter. Now, we're going to need a Scepter's Final Touches, and just like before, we're going to go to the smithy vendor, go to materials, type S for SC for Scepter, buy one of those for 8 copper, 12 copper after tax, and now we can craft the Scepter. Again, make sure you craft the Wayward Scepter and not the Iron Hearth Scepter, okay? So there we go. We're going to add 30 metal fragments, just like that. We need 7 timber, 3 weapon molds, and 10 essence. Very, very cool. Again, it's only 75 copper to craft. And there you have it. Let me show you how strong these weapons are. And I'm pushing the wrong button here. So, we have the Wayward Book of Spells. We go from 397 magic power to 693. 99 crit to 173. 34 int to 59 intelligence. Now, we do get healing crit power instead, which we can't really utilize, but that's fine. We just lose a bit of magic evasion. Who cares? There's barely any magic casters this early. Magic evasion does nothing for us, so no real change there. I'm going to right-click that and swap it. I'm going to drag this down because I don't want to accidentally put that book back on. Now we have the Wayward Scepter. Our scepter has 248 magic power. We're now upgrading to 433. 83 magic speed is now 144. 23 int to 40 int, and we actually get 223 magic crit chance. Huge, huge upgrade. We're going to go ahead and put that on, and as soon as you put on your new weapons, make sure that you sell your old ones so you don't accidentally re-equip them. There we go. Yeah, it won't let me sell the Wanderer's Scepter for some reason. I don't know why, whatever. So I just trash it. But you can see now we have way, way more magic power than we ever did before, and now we can kick a whole lot of ass. You know what you might be thinking? You might be thinking, well, what about the focus? We just have a dull focus. And that's fine. If you go to the crafting station and you go to focus, yeah, you can craft a 51 magic power focus for some larch timber and snowdrop powder. But, you know, 51 magic power versus 38 is a literal non-upgrade. I wouldn't even waste time on this. You get 2 extra intelligence. You're not gonna notice a difference in your kill speed by doing all this work to craft that low level focus. And the area we're going to, well, they have a chance to drop a much better focus. And that area is the Vinebreaker mines. So, with all this newfound power, we're gonna head south down the road, past the Hammer Rest Trade Outpost. At this fork in the road, we're going to go right. Visually, it'll be on the left, but on the map, it's on the right. The eastern road down this way. There's a river we're going to jump into, and then the Vinebreaker mines are right here on the eastern side of the river. That's where we'll head to. But before we do that, we're going to buy some buff food and consumables because it's about damn time. Go to the laboratory vendor, and this character, this NPC, sells mana and health salves. So I've already got 10 health salves. I don't need mana salves, but they also sell buff scrolls. We have Constitution, Strength, Intelligence, and Mentality. Mentality would be mana, Intelligence would be your magic attack power. So I'm going to buy, I don't know, like 5 of these. We have 28 silver just to blow on stuff. And these buff scrolls last 3 hours. Yes, 3 hours real life time. You don't need to buy a lot of them, alright? Next up, we're going to walk outside, or we're going to ride outside, not walk, that would take forever, to the cooking vendor. And yeah, we haven't done any cooking. Mage characters don't really need to cook for their crafts, whereas physical characters do. Kind of weird, but whatever. Right over here at the purple-looking cooking pot icon is the cooking station, and next to the cooking station is a cookhouse vendor. This character sells rations, which are better than those clay chunks that we have. So you could buy some of those if you want. I'm going to throw my clay chunks out and buy some rations. I'm just going to buy like 10. There we go. They also sell fruit salad, which is magic power. I'm going to go ahead and buy some of that. You can have 1 food buff and 1 scroll buff active at a time. There's also blackberry compote, which is defense, but we're a mage. We don't need defense. I've got 5 fruit salads for magic power and 10 rations. Do note that you can also buy a fisherman shirt and hunter shirts here for some reason. I don't know why that is. But yeah, let's spend 9 silver, and now we have our consumables. We've got our potions. We've got, you know, food for health, food for buffs, the scroll for buff, and with that, we have everything we need to make it, make the Vinebreaker mines super duper easy. Now, I will say sometimes the Vinebreaker mines are very busy. There are groups of players clearing out the mines. There are high-level players for some reason there, farming materials, I guess. I'm not really sure what it is they do there, but if it's too busy, you go back, you grind on mountain lions, okay? Mountain lions are elite mobs, so they are still good XP, and they still have good drops. The Vinebreaker mines are just better because there are 2-star mobs. I don't know what the name of a 2-star mob is. I guess it's like a super elite. I don't know the official wording for it, but that's why we're going to farm those guys for the better drops. They also drop in a huge amount of XP. Like, you kill a 2-star mob, it's 9,000 XP. So why wouldn't you want to kill those, right? They're very, very good. And you can solo them. You can absolutely solo them. And the mobs there are higher leveled. They drop way more glint and way more materials. So, now, another thing too is depending on... Oh, we still have a zinc fragment and some granite. Whoop-de-doo. You would normally want to sell and store everything before heading out. But it doesn't matter too much. Anyway, I'm going to cut to the part where we get to the river. Alright, so the safe way down is to just jump your mount into the river. You will take no fall damage whatsoever. However, I want to do an experiment. Someone told me if you unsummon your mount right as you hit the ground, you take no fall damage and your mount survives. So let's see if they're trolling. We're going to jump down here, and right before we hit the ground, we will just push the button, and there, I'm going to blink. Oh yeah, look at that. The mount took no damage, so that works. Now, as soon as we hit the river, you want to kind of hug the wall here and start walking east, and that will get us to the Vinebreaker mines. So the entrance to the mines, again, you're following the wall here, and there it is. The game will let you know, hey, objective complete. You'll get a new, you know, main story quest, whatever you want to call it, to kill 10 enemies and collect 2 ore samples. The ore samples, I'm going to light the room up for you guys. The ore samples are these rocks right here that are kind of smoldering. You just walk up, push F. That's 1, that's 2, and that's pretty much it. So, my favorite route when you enter the Vinebreaker mines is you take a hard right, and there will be this ledge here that lets you climb up. And these enemies are very, very easy to kill. These are just level 5 rocklings. There we go. And again, you can just spam your spells on them and they're going to be instantly dead. No problem. Now, there's so many of these that, you know, you can just keyboard your piano and you'll get them killed very, very quickly. You could usually kill them before they even get an attack off. But these are just regular enemies, by the way. Once we are a higher level mage, we can AoE farm them, but it's better that we stick to our single target damage so that we can more properly or more quickly and efficiently kill the elite mobs that spawn here in the mines. So again, I'm just gonna, you know, kill all the rocklings that I see and walk towards. And again, you'll see other players, they'll be AoEing. We have a cleric here AoEing. And I do note that, again, there are mobs with 1 star here, and those are elite mobs, and they are tougher because they're higher level. They're not as easy as the mountain lions. The mountain lions kind of spoiled us with how simple they are to kill. But as you go deeper into the mines, you're going to see this little area here. Wait, no, never mind. Let me cancel that fireball. You're going to see this area here that it's kind of like a collapsed looking mineshaft thing. One of the elites spawns here, and that would be, I think it's, I forget his name, but it's something Tooth. Like Cinder Tooth or Clay Tooth. I forget his name, but that's one of the ones you want to farm. As you go deeper as well, there's more elites that are near a set of mine carts, though it's not in this room. I'm just gonna mount up because this guy's gonna pull the whole room. He's clearly following my video. That's it's pretty neat to see, by the way. And yeah, you'll get lag spikes in here. I don't know, it's a bug. Sorry, game's bugged. I'm getting bounced around by the spellcaster. But this set of mine carts here, there is another elite that will spawn there. Also, how did I pull aggro on this guy? I don't know, but in the mines, you're probably just gonna have to face tank. That's just kind of the reality. We're going to blink so we get insta-cast Fireball, and then we're just going to spam our abilities while everything's on cooldown. And there we go. So again, we kill the elites pretty quickly here, but just be aware. And their drops are pretty good. You can see I got a dim glint as a drop, so that was 1 silver, 6 copper from a single mob, and we killed them in like 1.5 spell rotations. But you're just going to run through the mines and just kill absolutely everything. That'll level you to 8. That's going to level you to 9. Now, 8 to 9 will take you about 45 minutes of doing this, which is still faster than grouping up with other players, okay? 9 to 10 is going to take more than double the amount of time it took you to go from level 8 to 9, so keep that in mind. So here's the fight with Calcitooth, and this is a rather difficult fight. You won't be able to, you should not face tank this guy. You should absolutely kite him around as best as you can. Keep your distance. Now he has 2 abilities. He has Haymaker and Rock Throw. Haymaker is a frontal dash attack, so always stay like behind him or to his side. And yeah, we are a bit squishy here. Now the other one is Rock Throw, and you want to time your dodge roll to his cast bar. Otherwise, yeah, he's gonna beat us up here. We have too many adds. As a mage, you are very squishy, so in this case, he also has Earth Splitter, but that's just around him, so nothing to worry about there. But you can also cut him to the entrance, and sometimes players will assist you. But in this case, I've got too many ads on me. Do not try to fight this guy whenever he has his allies. So in this case, we're going to summon our mount, and we're going to dash away. There's not much you can really do about that, but yeah. If you can fight him one-on-one, you can also kite him out of the cave and fight him out here in the open, kind of like this. And where you have kind of mobility superiority, right? But with this many ads, I'm not going to be able to take them on at all. So just drop aggro, kill everything up to the point where you find Calcitooth, and then you can take them on. Now I know other classes at this level with this gear can absolutely smash everything around them, but we are not an AoE class yet. We're close, but not yet. There we go, killed Calcitooth, though there were some random players that also decided to help me kill it. 9,254 XP, and you get the rare drop here, the tension canister. So very, very good. I could have did it myself by just, dashing around and kiting and properly rolling. But, yeah, they decided to smash it, I guess, to speed up the process. So as far as weapon levels go, I like just more damage, so like weapon damage, projectile damage on the spells. For the Scepter, it doesn't really matter because we never really use it for anything. So you can increase the duration of weapon procs by 15%. Yeah. Now, as far as being level 8 goes, what ability should you choose? In my opinion, you still need to be doing single target. You don't really have the kit or the skill points yet, or the gear for area of effect mass farming, since you can't 100 to 0 everything with a few skills. You would be chipping away at them. They'd all be half health, and they'll just zerg you down and kill you. So what I recommend is, I like doing Hoarfrost because it's only a 0.7 second cast for nice ice damage. It also kind of goes along with Cone of Cold, because if you Hoarfrost into Cone of Cold, you can now freeze targets, which means they just, after a second or two, they just stop moving, they stop attacking. It's really, really nice, letting you charge up another Fireball instead of face tanking them. The alternative is Shell. You just cast Shell, and then you face tank as you cast a Fireball. So it's whichever playstyle you prefer. I'm going with Hoarfrost, though. That is my preferred playstyle. So the rotation is you obviously open with Fireball. You do your auto attack so that it refreshes Fireball's cooldown. You hit your, Hoarfrost into Cone of Cold. They're frozen. Hit them with a Combust. Then you blink so that you get an instant cast Fireball, and then you just kind of repeat after that. If you want to mash Arcane Volley to finish them off, you can. But it's almost always better to just make sure that you are refreshing your Fireball cooldown instead. But also with Hoarfrost and with Cone of Cold, you can start pulling the Rocklings. You can start pulling a whole bunch of Rocklings. So I can kind of show that now. We can grab just as many as we want, though. There are people that will be doing this already. Like, that's just how it is. So we're going to Hoarfrost on the ground there, and then Cone of Cold, and now they're frozen. And then you just blow them up with your abilities, right? So, also remember that your Mage, your Book of Spells is, it does do splash damage. So just keep that in mind. But again, we still don't have the AoE capacity of other classes. That's just, did I get an earring? I did. Cool. Finished up the earrings. Yay. We now have every slot, even though the helmet looks empty, it's there. Yeah, every slot is now covered at level 8. But yeah, you just continue, you just keep up the grind. You can see that I'm already like 8%, level 8 and 13% in with just a few mob kills. And you just continue this to level 9 while you do your commissions. You can see I did a Vinebreaker commission there for 2.4k XP. That's going to chunk me up, get me some rewards. I would go back to the settlements, get another set, come back out here, do it again, kill the mountain lions, kill rams, stonehawks, do some gathering. You're going to do all this to level 9 and then to level 10. And remember, at level 10, you're going to lose your PvP protection and you can be ganked from here on out. So again, that's the route. That is the gameplay loop from levels 1 to 10, right? I don't want to go down in there. That's the bottom of the mines. But before I let you go, I do want to just quickly teach you how to fish. You don't need to fish. Fishing kind of sucks. It's a group activity anyway later on. But, the other videos taught you how to fish. But even though as a caster we're not crafting anything with fish, I'll go ahead and teach you that now. To fish, like all these other lads are, you're going to push the K button. You're going to click the skill book button. You're going to then go down here to Artisan and click fishing. And then you have a fishing skill. You just drag that on your hotbar and you stand near some water. Click the fishing button, and now you're fishing. And the game will tell you, oh, I can't find any fish here, if you're not allowed to fish there, or if it's an unfishable pond of water, okay? I know right now, as of currently recording, if I go all the way north to the ocean, you can't fish in this ocean for some reason. I don't know why. Yeah. But as you said here, there's no mini game when you hook a fish. You don't have to push any buttons. There's no quick time events. You just get a fish. So I just got a Frost Flash, and this is the only kind of fish you'll get from this area is a Frost Flash. And if you need to go AFK and like cook dinner, do dishes, do chores, hang out with a girlfriend, play a different game, or watch YouTube or something, then you could just set your character here and fish, and you gain XP for doing this. Like I gained 80 fishing XP, but 99 regular experience, and that's because the zone I'm in, it has an experience buff. So that's really nice. But, yeah. Just, if you need to go AFK, this is something you could do to make your character productive while you're being productive in the real world. Anyway, that's it for the video. That's all I've got. I'm SoulBenji. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you. And I know normally for all the other guide videos, I did level to 9, but I'm on a time crunch. I've got too much stuff to do. Yeah, it's going to take me 45 minutes to blow up the mines. But I just don't feel like it doesn't add anything to the video. You already know what to do. Just get it done. With that said, let me know what you want to see next. If you have any questions, please let me know. I have no life, no friends, no obligations, etc. So I read every single comment that you guys leave. I'm going to read the most current comment now from AZTexian5 3 minutes ago on my Fighter Best Start Guide. This says, I rolled the Fighter this morning before I went to work. I came home from work and you already had a video. So there you go. That was the most recent comment. But anyway, one final thing too. Like the video. There's going to be a lot of people in sandbox MMOs hate information. They do not want their competition to know how to play the game. So they will be downvoting this video, and my other guys are getting downvoted, so I need your help to stabilize it. Please upvote it. Please click the thumbs up button. And finally, click the video on the right side of your screen. If you don't, the next time you go to the grocery store, that one item that you went in there for, you made the whole trip to get that one item, it's going to be out of stock. So, click the video, and it won't happen. It won't happen to you. Mwah. Kiss on your forehead. I'll see y'all later. Bonus footage, because I forgot. At level 9, you would just get Shell. If you didn't get Shell, you would get Hoarfrost if you didn't get Hoarfrost. Pretty simple stuff.